Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Eric here for E&M Guns. Our channel is a real YouTube channel. We got our first strike. And it came 42 seconds into Monday's video where we were talking about the DOJ and rare breed trigger settlement. It says that I violated YouTube policy by selling items that are prohibited on YouTube. I don't know. I took their little class. I immediately said, hey guys, this is nothing for selling here. And basically said, hey, review what you've struck. And it quickly came back as, nope, that video's bad. So this is the rest of the video with the offensive part out. The 42 seconds in the beginning out. There they are.
And I also want to point out this is one of our first instances of legal wording where I don't know if the words here are worth much more than the paper they're printed on. Practicable means able to be done or put into practice successfully, and that gives the government quite a bit of wiggle room to be like, whoops, lost it, or whoop, I don't know which one this was, or, you know, we got the serial numbers, or, right? I'm not 100% sure on that one, how much relief it actually grants. And again, we have already heard from somebody at NAGR that the government is taking the position that, oh no, we don't actually have to give them to everybody, just people who are parties to the lawsuit, which is, again, one of the things that we'll talk about, whether this has any effect at all. So in addition to that, it's returning all of the FRTs that it stole from Rare Breed itself, which is a lot, right? For Rare Breed, that's a really significant thing. That's a lot of money of business that was just completely tied up. And so that may have been significant in their decision. But that return is considered full settlement value of all of the lawsuits that Rare Breed has against the government. And another caveat, the government is not returning any further force reset triggers that are evidence in criminal investigations, prosecutions, or civil forfeiture actions, which is odd because wasn't this whole thing supposed to be, right? Wasn't the whole result of this supposed to be getting the government to agree that these aren't machine guns? Isn't that what we were expecting would happen out of this? It kind of doesn't seem like that's quite what happened. And then we get down to paragraph 7 where it starts to get weird. Here in paragraph 7, Rare Breed and their head guys agree not to develop or design an FRT for use in any handgun, which the government here defines, or the agreement defines, as a firearm whose magazine loads into the trigger hand grip. That's weird, right? Especially because the National Firearms Act doesn't have a distinction between automatic weapons by barrel length. So I don't know if it just shines a light on the fact that this is something the feds are concerned with or not, but it really makes you wonder what the idea was here, right? What is the legal significance? What is the principal distinction that's being made? And frankly, I don't think there is one. They further agree, right, the Rare Breed guys, not to market, advertise, or encourage individuals to put FRT triggers on any handgun. Masterful wording. This handgun thing, this gives the government, or at least appears to give the government, the ability to control development of FRTs for handguns and possibly in other directions as well. And as we'll see later, DOJ is very clear about their stance on FRTs for handguns, and it appears to be that they think that they can make a differential determination that that's a machine gun, which should be very injurious to the law. It's not good.
Monaco here, president of Rare Breed Triggers, and I'm here today to officially report that the fight is over. We won. It hasn't quite sunk in yet, so I'm going to say it again. We won.
Is that what happened? Well, I mean, it really depends on your perspective. If you're talking about Lawrence DeMonaco, the individual, or Rare Breed Triggers, the company, yeah, straight up, solid win is the administration and their health on the Second Amendment. We have our Second Amendment scorecard and our meter down in the corner, and we are deducting points today because I'm telling you, what the government did, the government nowhere in this document admits that the FRT or FRT-like devices are not machine guns. In fact, the only time that they bring up the mechanical function of the FRT or FRT-like devices is to explain why they are not going to enforce the law or why they are going to give an exception to rare breed triggers and not enforce the machine gun prohibition against them. And they really said two things. As long as you don't change it a whole lot, and as long as you don't make it for a handgun. The Trump administration and their Second Amendment task force elects to do what they've done with everything else, which is take a shortcut that will only last for however long they're in charge of the government or the government wants to play nice. I feel as though has done a disservice, as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, or a couple seconds ago, that we could have had a binding precedent that did absolutely keep the government from doing something like this ever again. This is being litigated.
Leave in the comments if you think the Second Amendment just took a kick in the stomachs. Or did we actually, we sided with rare breed trigger and we actually won, and it was a great win for the Second Amendment. Love to hear your thoughts. You guys have a blessed week. Love you. Peace out.